to give us a background of this entire case, dating back to almost 2017, Vishwanath, give us the details. How were these loans sanctioned and who's under the scanner? Give us all the context.
Right. So just taking you through some of the context that has been set through what our sources are telling us at NDTV Profit here right now. So if you were to look at what exactly led to this entire thing, between 2017 and 2019, a number of transactions took place between Yes Bank as well as the Reliance Anil Ambani Group companies. Essentially, a 3,000 crore loan was approved by Yes Bank and given to the Reliance Anil Ambani Group companies, and then those funds were being diverted. Let's try and understand how exactly the questions were raised in this question, specifically credit approval memorandums, which CAMs is the usual term that is used. These were backdated to ensure that the loans are in compliance. Furthermore, investments were proposed without any thorough due diligence or credit analysis to these Reliance Group companies. The other important point that sources are telling us that ED has found is that the loans were diverted to many group companies and other shell companies so that they can be siphoned off and out of the system. Loans were given to entities which had weak financials. Clearly, their financial strength wasn't there to be receiving these loans. The documentation on these loans was also not proper. That's clear from also the CAM's backdated system that has been followed here. Due diligence was not being conducted by the bank officials at that point in time between 2017 and 19, while the loans were being extended to these Raga companies. Borrowers have had common addresses, they've had common directors. This is clearly a red flag that banks watch out for before giving loans to any group companies. Another thing is that loans that were given to these companies were then onward lent, meaning that in the form of a corporate loan was extended to other group entities and shell companies on the same date that they were received by the original borrower from Yes Bank. Apart from what has happened here, we also need to look at which other entities are under the scanner at this point in time. If you were to look at the details that have been shared by SEBI to the Enforcement Directorate, they've actually pointed out Reliance Home Finance as a company where there were a number of loans that were being extended, corporate loans specifically. And there has been a dramatic increase in the corporate loans extended by Reliance Home Finance between FY18 and FY19. So in this period of time, a lot of money has gone out of Reliance Home Finance. Another big company, which we mentioned earlier in the show, Reliance Communications, that is already in the midst of a fraud allegation by State Bank of India. SBI has actually declared RCom as a fraud for diverting funds and misusing the loans. What we also know is about Canara Bank. Now, Canara Bank has declared RCom as a fraud for loans involving roughly about 1,050 odd crore, which were borrowed by this company. So that while that tag had happened a while back, Canara Bank was forced to withdraw that fraud tag because the Supreme Court order had required banks to give due personal hearing to all the borrowers before classifying them as fraud. So Canara Bank is in the process of doing that. In fact, the management was speaking on an earnings call earlier, and to our question, they responded that our stance on the account has not changed. However, we will follow whatever the Supreme Court order is and ensure that we are in compliance with the order.